The cabin hums with the sound of passengers settling in. Dr. Simone Carter steps inside, her blazer crisp, her walk steady. She checks her seat number, moving with quiet confidence. The flight attendant looks up, her smile tightening as she takes. In Simone's presence, "Welcome," the attendant says, her tone flat. Her eyes linger on Simone's clothes, a beat too long. A man behind Simone watches, curiosity flickering across his face. Simone hands over her ticket. The attendant's pen pauses in midair. "Business class?" Her words are more challenging than questions. "Yes." Simone's answer is calm, her gaze unwavering. The attendant's jaw tenses. She scans the ticket again, though the seat is clear. A child in economy points at Simone's scarf, but her mother quickly hushes her. The attendant finally nods, gesturing down the aisle. First impressions aren't always about words. They're in the pauses, the glances, the way people hold themselves. Simone moves forward, her heels quiet on the carpet. The attendant watches her go, fingers tapping the ticket book. A junior crew member nearby bites her lip, eyes flicking between them. A white passenger steps up, ticket in hand. The attendant's voice brightens. "Right this way, sir." Simone hears the difference but keeps moving. She stores her bag, smooths her skirt, and sits. The man across the aisle glances at her, then hides behind his magazine. The cabin reflects not who you are, but who they expect you to be. The attendant passes Simone's row, gaze averted. A baby cries in the back, sharp and sudden. Simone closes her eyes for a moment, steadying herself. The journey is just beginning. The captain's voice comes over the speaker. "Prepare for takeoff." Simone's phone lights up, a message from her assistant. "Board meeting notes ready." She replies quickly, her fingers tapping out a rhythm. The U.S. attendant settles into her seat, posture stiff. Simone's calm holds firm. The plane lifts off, carrying more than just passengers. The flight attendant stands in the aisle, her smile tight, fingers gripping the ticket folder. She leans forward, blocking Simone's way. "Let me check this again," she says, voice clipped. Simone stands calmly, hands relaxed at her sides. A man in 12B glances over, concerned flickering in his eyes. The attendant's pen hovers above Simone's ticket, even though the seat number is clear. A toddler drops a toy nearby, but his mother hesitates to move, watching the scene unfold. "Is there a problem?" Simone asks, voice steady. The attendant laughs, too sharp. "Just following the usual steps." She flips the ticket, thumb pressing into the corner. In the galley, a junior attendant twists her name tag, looking away. Simone doesn't break. Eye contact. "I fly this route often. The seat is correct." The attendant scans the cabin, searching for support. The junior attendant busies herself with coffee cups. A businessman in 3A adjusts his tie, avoiding everyone's eyes. "Of course," the attendant says at last, nodding stiffly. She steps aside, but her arm brushes Simone's shoulder as she does. Simone moves past, her shoes quiet on the carpet. The attendant's knuckles whiten around the folder. A woman in 5C meets Simone's gaze, offering a small, understanding nod. In the galley, the junior attendant pours coffee, spilling some onto a napkin. She quickly hides the mess, eyes darting toward the aisle. The attendant returns to her station, dropping the folder with a thud. A passenger asks for a blanket. She hands it over without a word. The junior attendant flinches, but says nothing. Simone smooths her skirt and sits. The man across the aisle lowers his newspaper, glancing at her before looking away. Seatbelts click as the captain announces turbulence. The attendant avoids Simone's row, her earlier certainty fading. The junior attendant approaches, voice low. "If you need anything, let me know." Simone nods, accepting the water bottle. Simone settles into her seat, arranging her bag neatly at her feet. The air feels charged. A woman across the aisle clutches her purse tighter, shifting away. Man behind Simone lowers his gaze, pretending to read, but his page never turns. The flight attendant lingers nearby, eyes darting between passengers. A soft cough comes from the row ahead. The passenger glances back, then quickly looks forward. Again. Simone straightens her jacket, her movements measured. The hum of the engines is steady, but the tension in the cabin is unmistakable. A couple in the next row exchange a look. The woman whispers, "Did you see that?" Her partner nods, lips pressed together. The attendant checks the overhead bins, her hands moving quickly, avoiding Simone's row altogether. A child asks, "Mom, why is everyone so quiet?" The mother hushes her, offering a strained smile. Simone glances out the window, jaw set. The man across the aisle peeks over his magazine, then looks away, cheeks coloring. The junior attendant walks by, offering drinks. Her hands tremble slightly as she pours a cup of tea for an elderly passenger who gives Simone a sympathetic glance. A phone vibrates on a tray table. Its owner silences it, glancing nervously at the attendant. The air grows heavier, every gesture loaded with meaning. Simone takes a slow breath. The weight of being watched, measured, judged, settles on her shoulders. She sits tall, refusing to shrink. The attendant returns, her steps quick, her face unreadable. She stops at another row, voice bright, asking if anyone needs anything. She never looks Simone's way. The plane hits a pocket of rough air. Passengers grip their armrests, the moment stretching. Simone closes her eyes, steadying herself. The quiet judgment lingers, thick as fog, shaping every breath. Simone opens, her eyes resolving, hardening. The flight is far from over. The flight attendant returns, her steps quick, posture rigid. She stops beside Simone's seat, voice raised just enough for others to hear. "You must be in the wrong place. This section isn't for everyone." The words land heavy, drawing glances from nearby passengers. Simone meets her gaze, unblinking. "My ticket says business class," she replies, voice even. A man 2 rows up shifts in his seat, glancing between Simone and the attendant. The attendant's jaw tightens. She holds out her hand. "Let me see your boarding pass again." Simone hands it over, her fingers steady. The attendant scans it, lips pressed thin. A woman across the aisle leans forward, eyebrows raised, sensing the tension. The attendant hands the ticket back, her grip firm. "I'll check with the purser," she says, turning on her heel. Her shoes tap sharply on the floor as she walks away. A couple nearby exchange uneasy looks. The junior attendant in the galley pauses, listening, her face troubled. The main attendant disappears behind the curtain, leaving a wake of uncertainty. Simone sits tall, refusing to shrink. The man across the aisle lowers his magazine, watching. The woman with the purse whispers to her neighbor, "Why is she doing this?" The attendant returns, her expression unchanged. "We're verifying your seat," she announces, voice clipped. She moves down the aisle, checking tickets with exaggerated care, but never stopping at Simone's row. Simone folds her hands in her lap, her composure unbroken. The air in the cabin is tense, every eye drawn to the confrontation. The attendant's authority feels brittle, her confidence forced. Passengers sense the line has been drawn, not just in words, but in posture and tone. The moment is public, the injustice clear. Simone's dignity stands firm, the challenge unspoken but unmistakable. Simone sits upright, her eyes steady as the attendant returns. The attendant's voice is sharper now, echoing through the cabin. "If you can't produce another boarding pass, I'll have to report this." Her words are meant to intimidate, but her hands tremble as she grips the seat back. Simone's reply is measured, her tone unwavering. "Do what you must." She doesn't raise her voice, doesn't flinch. The attendant hesitates, caught off guard by Simone's calm. A passenger nearby shifts uncomfortably, glancing from Simone to the attendant. The junior attendant stands at the galley curtain, her fingers twisting a napkin, eyes wide with uncertainty. The main attendant straightens, trying to regain control. "I'll be right back," she says, but her steps falter as she turns away. The sound of her heels is muffled against the carpet, each stride less confident than the last. Simone keeps, her gaze forward, refusing to shrink. The man across the aisle clears his throat, unsure if he should say something. The woman with the purse squeezes her armrest, lips pressed tight. The attendant disappears behind the curtain, shoulders tense. The junior attendant glances at Simone, offering a small apologetic nod before slipping away. A quiet tension settles over the cabin. Simone's restraint is a warning, her dignity a shield. The power in the aisle has shifted, the old order shaken. Passengers exchange looks, some frowning, others whispering. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation. Simone's presence commands respect without a word. The attendant lingers behind the curtain, her authority slipping. Simone sits tall, her calm unbroken. The cabin holds its breath, waiting for what comes next. The story is far from over, but the balance has changed. Simone's warning is clear, and everyone feels it. Simone gazes out the window, the hum of the engines fading as old memories surface. She recalls a boardroom, her hand raised with an idea. The executive at the head of the table glances past her, calling on someone else. Her suggestion goes unmentioned, her presence quietly dismissed. She remembers an interview. The hiring manager's handshake cool, eyes avoiding hers. "We're looking for someone who fits our culture," he says, voice polite but final. The rejection email arrives days later. The words familiar. Another door shut before she could even step through. A flash of her inbox. Unanswered messages. Proposals left unread. Each one a quiet bruise, building a wall she's learned to climb. She sees herself at a networking event, standing alone as laughter circles the room. Invitations never extended her way. Back in the present, Simone's reflection stares back from the window. The attendant's words echo in her mind, blending. With all the time she's been told in so many ways that she doesn't belong, she presses her palm against her knee, grounding herself. A flight attendant passes, pausing for a moment. "Can I get you anything?" Her voice is softer than before, eyes flicking away quickly. Simone shakes her head, offering a small, controlled smile. A passenger in the next row glances at Simone, then looks away, uncertain. The weight of past slights lingers, but Simone refuses to let it define her. She straightens her jacket, drawing strength from every closed door she's faced. The cabin's hum returns, layered with the memories of battles fought and dignity maintained. Simone's resolve is quiet, but unbreakable. The journey is long, but she's carried further by every moment she's endured. She sits taller, ready for whatever comes next. A man in a navy suit presses his call button, glancing at his empty cup. The attendant approaches, her expression neutral. "Could I have some water, please?" he asks quietly. She nods, but her pace is slow as she moves to the galley, pausing to chat with another crew member before filling his glass. He waits, watching. As a white passenger 2 rows up requests a drink and receives it almost instantly, the attendant's tone cheerful, her smile easy. The man in the suit glances at Simone, the question in his eyes unspoken. Simone meets his gaze, understanding, passing silently between them. The attendant finally returns, setting the water down without a word. The man thanks her, but she's already moved on. He sighs, shoulders slumping. Simone watches, noting the pattern. The difference is subtle, but the message is clear. Across the aisle, a woman asks for a blanket. The attendant responds quickly, her demeanor warm. The man in the suit shifts in his seat, folding his hands in his lap. The junior attendant passing by hesitates, then offers the man a napkin with a quiet, "Let me know if you need anything else." He nods, grateful for the small kindness. Simone observes the interactions, each one reinforcing what she already knows. The service isn't about routine, it's about who's seen and who's overlooked. The cabin feels smaller, the air heavier. A child nearby tugs at her mother's sleeve. "Why did he have to wait?" The mother shakes her head, unable to answer. Simone sits quietly, her resolve steady. The man in the suit offers her a faint, appreciative smile. She returns it, a silent promise that she sees him. The attendant continues down the aisle, her mask of professionalism slipping just a little more. A restless child squirms in her seat, humming softly as she looks out the window. Her mother gently pats her arm, whispering, "Shh, almost there." The main flight attendant approaches, her lips pressed into a thin line. "You need to keep her quiet," she says, tone clipped. The mother's cheeks redden. "I'm sorry, she's just tired," she replies, voice barely above a whisper. The attendant's eyes narrow, lingering a moment too long before moving on. The mother glances around, searching for understanding, but most passengers look away. Man nearby shifts uncomfortably, pretending to adjust his headphones. The junior attendant catches the mother's eye, offering a small, sympathetic nod, before returning to her duties. The child, sensing the tension, curls closer to her mother. The mother strokes her hair, her movements careful, as if afraid to draw more attention. Simone watches, her jaw tight, recognizing the familiar pattern of being told to shrink, to take up less space. A woman across the aisle sighs, shaking her head. The attendant passes her, offering a bright smile and a quick joke. The contrast is unmistakable. The mother whispers, "It's okay, sweetheart. Just rest." Her voice trembles, but she keeps her head high. Simone meets the mother's gaze, offering a look of quiet solidarity. The mother manages a grateful smile, holding her daughter a little tighter. The attendant returns to the galley, her posture stiff. The junior attendant pauses, glancing back at the mother and child, before disappearing behind the curtain. The cabin is filled with an unspoken tension, every gesture loaded with meaning. Simone sits taller, her resolve deepening with every small injustice she witnesses. The mother closes her eyes, rocking gently, determined not to let the moment break her or her child. The attendant moves down the aisle, her demeanor shifting with each passenger. She greets a white couple with a bright smile, laughing at their joke, her voice light. When a black woman in row 7 raises her hand, the attendant's expression hardens. "What is it?" she asks, her tone flat. The woman hesitates. "Could I get some tea?" The attendant nods curtly, not meeting her eyes. She pours the tea, setting the cup down without a word, then turns away before the woman can thank her. A young man in the next row, watching the exchange, frowns. He glances at Simone, confusion and discomfort flickering across his face. Simone offers a small nod, acknowledging what he's seen. The attendant stops at another row, her smile returning as she chats with an older white gentleman. She asks about his travels, her voice warm. He laughs, patting her arm. The contrast is stark. A Latina passenger tries to ask a question, but the attendant waves her off, saying, "I'll be back." She never returns. The junior attendant, noticing the pattern, hesitates at Simone's row. She offers a soft, "Is there anything I can get for you?" Simone shakes her head, her gratitude unspoken. A woman across the aisle whispers to her partner, "She's treating them differently." He nods, watching the attendant move down the aisle, her friendliness reserved for some, her indifference for others. The main attendant's performance is seamless for those she chooses, but the cracks show for everyone else. Each interaction draws a line dividing the cabin in ways that words never could. Simone sits quietly, her resolve firm. The double standard is clear, and the weight of it settles over the passengers who notice. The aisle feels longer, every step echoing the difference. In row 12, a woman with a notepad and phone observes every movement in the aisle. She's quiet, her gaze steady, thumbs moving as she types notes. Each time the attendant's tone shifts, she records it. When the attendant laughs with a white passenger, she marks the time. When she brushes off a request from a black traveler, she writes that down too. The journalist adjusts her glasses, raising her phone just enough to discreetly capture a photo of the attendant's interactions. She notices the junior attendant's hesitation, the way her hands fidget with a napkin after a tense exchange. A man in the window seat leans over. "Are you writing about this?" he whispers. The journalist nods, her voice low. "Someone needs to." He sits back, relief and worry mingling in his eyes. The attendant passes, her posture stiffening as she catches the journalist's glance. For a moment, their eyes meet. The attendant's lips pressed together, then she looks away, quickening her pace. The journalist's notes grow longer. She writes about the mother and child, the businessman's wait for water, the uneven warmth in the attendant's voice. She documents the junior attendant's small acts of kindness, the nervous glances exchanged between passengers. A woman across the aisle notices the journalist's focus. She leans toward her partner, whispering, "She's paying attention. Maybe it'll help." Her partner nods, hope flickering in his eyes. The journalist tucks her phone away, her notepad now crowded with observations. She glances at Simone, offering a small, encouraging smile. Simone returns it, the silent support settling between them. As the attendant continues her rounds, she glances back at row 12, unease flickering across her face. The journalist's presence is a quiet reminder. Someone is watching, and this story will not stay hidden. In the galley, the main attendant leans against the counter, voice lowered but edged with frustration. "Some people think they own the place," she mutters to her co-worker, rolling her eyes. The junior attendant stands nearby, organizing cups, her hands pausing as she listens. The co-worker chuckles, shaking his head. "Always the same troublemakers, huh?" The main attendant laughs, but it's hollow, her gaze flicking toward the curtain separating them from the cabin. The junior attendant glances up, her brow furrowing. She shifts her weight, tapping a spoon against a tray. The main attendant's words linger in the cramped space, the joke landing heavier than intended. Pilot steps in, grabbing a coffee. He senses the tension, offering a quick, awkward smile before leaving. The junior attendant resumes stacking cups, her movements slower, eyes fixed on her hands. The main attendant sighs, voice softer. "You just have to keep things moving, you." "No?" The junior attendant nods, but her jaw is tight, her silence saying more than words. From the other side of the curtain, faint voices filter in, passengers chatting, a child laughing. The junior attendant wipes down the counter, glancing at the door as if considering stepping out. The main attendant checks her watch, then smooths her hair, preparing to return to the aisle. The junior attendant lingers, biting her lip, weighing whether to speak. She decides against it, instead offering a quiet, "I'll finish up here." The main attendant nods, already halfway through the curtain, her face composed but her shoulders tense. The junior attendant watches her go, the weight of the conversation settling in the galley. The laughter fades, replaced by a heavy quiet. The junior attendant stands alone, the truth of the joke echoing long after the words are gone. The junior attendant lingers near the galley, glancing over her shoulder before leaning toward a colleague stacking snacks. Her voice is barely above, a whisper. "She does this all the time," she confides, eyes darting to the aisle. The other attendant pauses, a bag of pretzels in hand, uncertainty flickering across her face. "Really?" the colleague asks, voice hushed. The junior attendant nods, worry etched in her brow. "It's always the same. She picks who gets the smiles, who gets brushed off." She fidgets with her badge, thumb tracing the engraved letters. The colleague glances toward the main attendant, who's busy chatting with a passenger, her laughter ringing out. The junior attendant sighs, shoulders slumping. "I tried to say something once. She told me to mind my own business." A brief silence settles between them, broken only by the crinkle of snack wrappers. The colleague lowers her voice. "Do you think anyone else notices?" The junior attendant nods, glancing at Simone. They notice. They just don't say it out loud. A passenger walks past, catching a fragment of the conversation. He hesitates, then keeps moving, pretending not to hear. The junior attendant straightens, smoothing her uniform, her expression guarded. The main attendant returns, her gaze sweeping over the galley. The junior attendant steps back, hands clasped behind her. The colleague offers a tight smile, returning to her task. As the main attendant leaves, the junior attendant exhales, tension easing just a little. She glances at Simone, who offers a subtle nod of acknowledgement. The moment is fleeting, but the truth lingers. The junior attendant returns to her duties, resolving the building quietly. The whisper has been spoken, the pattern named, even if only in secret. Simone unlocks her phone, her fingers moving quickly as she types a message to her assistant. Same old story. Stay ready. She hesitates for a moment, thumb hovering over the send button, then presses it. The reply comes almost instantly. A simple thumbs up, no words needed. She glances around the cabin. The attendant moves briskly down the aisle, her expression unreadable. Simone's phone screen dims, but she keeps it in her hand, the message a quiet anchor. The man in the navy suit across the aisle catches her eye, offering a sympathetic nod, before returning to his laptop. A row behind, a woman whispers to her partner, "She's texting someone." Her partner shrugs, curiosity flickering, but neither says more. The junior attendant passes, her steps careful, pausing briefly at Simone's row. "Anything I can get you?" she asks, voice soft. Simone shakes her head, managing a faint smile. Th. Main attendant checks her watch, then glances at Simone, lips pressed together. She moves on, adjusting a tray on her way. Simone's phone buzzes again, a calendar reminder for a meeting after landing. She silences it, slipping the device into her bag. The cabin feels smaller, the air thicker. Simone's message is a ritual, a way to mark each time she faces the same pattern. She sits straighter, shoulders set, her resolve quietly renewed. A child nearby giggles, breaking the tension for a moment. Simone closes her eyes, letting the sound settle her nerves. The junior attendant returns, setting a bottle of water on Simone's tray with a gentle, "Here if you need anything." Simone nods, gratitude unspoken. The phone in her bag is silent now, but the conversation it started lingers, a reminder that she's not alone in this fight. A low buzz drifts through the cabin. A man in row 8 quietly lifts his phone, recording as the attendant's voice sharpens at another request. The woman beside him leans in, whispering, "Did you hear that?" Her husband nods, concern etched in his features. A mother 2 rows back glances at Simone, then at her child, pulling her close. The junior attendant moves down the aisle, offering drinks, her eyes darting from passenger to passenger. She pauses at Simone's row, her words gentle. "Would you like anything else?" Simone shakes her head, her gratitude clear in her eyes. The main attendant checks her watch, her movements brisk, avoiding Simone's gaze. A young woman across the aisle whispers to her companion. "She's treating some people differently," he frowns, watching the attendant's every move. A teenage boy taps his mother's arm. "Why is everyone so tense?" The mother sighs, glancing at Simone before replying, "Sometimes people aren't fair." The boy nods, understanding more. Then he says. The businessman in the navy suit closes his laptop, watching the attendant with narrowed eyes. He catches Simone's glance and gives a small, supportive nod. The tension thickens. Every conversation hushed, but charged. The junior attendant lingers near the galley, worry flickering across her face. She exchanges a look with a colleague, both of them uneasy. A passenger in the back leans into the aisle, trying to catch a glimpse of what's happening. The hum of the engines blends with whispered questions and sidelong glances. Simone sits, tall, feeling the shift. The weight of quiet judgment is joined by a growing sense of awareness. She's not the only one noticing. The cabin, once indifferent, is waking up. The murmurs grow, the mood changing. The story is no longer hers alone. The journalist in row 12 unlocks her phone, thumbs flying as she crafts a thread. Live from Flight 208, watching bias play out in real time. She attaches photos and attendant's cold glance, a hesitant smile from the junior crew, Simone's calm under scrutiny. The tweets go out, notifications piling up. A college student across the aisle refreshes her feed, eyes widening as she recognizes the cabin in the photos. She nudges her friend. "Look, that's us." Her friend leans in, reading the thread, their faces a mix of shock and validation. The attendant moves briskly, sensing the shift but not yet knowing why. She glances at Simone, then at the passengers glued to their screens. The junior attendant checks her own phone, eyes widening as she sees the story spreading. A businessman in first class scrolls through the thread, his brow furrowing. He looks up, studying the crew with new scrutiny. A mother snaps a picture of the aisle, uploading it with a single word: "Witness." The hum in the cabin changes. Passengers trade phones, showing each other the unfolding story. The attendant's steps falter as she notices the attention, her confidence wavering. Simone sits quietly, aware of the digital storm brewing. Her phone buzzes with alerts, but she doesn't check it. The junior attendant passes by, whispering, "It's everywhere now." Simone nods, her resolve steady. A teen records a video, capturing the mood in the cabin. The journalist's posts trend, drawing comments from strangers miles away. "This is what change looks like," one reply reads. The plane flies on, but inside the atmosphere is transformed. The story is no longer contained by the cabin walls. It's out in the world, impossible to ignore. The captain receives a message from ground control, his face tightening as he reads the update. He steps out of the cockpit, voice calm but firm. "We'll be met by a supervisor on arrival," he announces to the crew. The main attendant's hands clench around a tray, her composure slipping. Passengers glance up, sensing something has shifted. The junior attendant exchanges a worried look with a colleague, her hands trembling as she refills a cup of tea. Simone sits straighter, her eyes meeting the captain's for a brief moment. He gives a subtle nod, acknowledging her presence. A woman near the front whispers to her partner, "They're coming for a reason." He nods, unease flickering in his eyes. The businessman in the navy suit checks his phone, reading the latest updates on the unfolding story. The main attendant moves down the aisle, her steps less certain. She stops at Simone's row, her voice quieter than before. "Is everything all right here?" Simone holds her gaze, replying, "We'll see when we land." The junior attendant lingers by the galley, biting her lip. She glances at Simone, offering a look of quiet support before returning to her duties. The hum of the engines is joined by a new tension, every passenger alert. Phones light up as more people follow the story online. The journalist in row 12 types furiously, documenting every detail. The plane begins its descent. Seatbelts click, tray tables snap shut. The main attendant's posture is rigid, eyes darting to the front of the cabin. Simone's calm is unshaken, her resolve clear. As the wheels lower, the mood is electric. Everyone knows something important is about to happen. The world is watching, both inside the cabin and far beyond. The plane touches down, tires thudding, against the runway. The cabin is unusually quiet, every passenger alert. Simone gathers her bag, movements deliberate. The main attendant stands near the exit, posture stiff, eyes fixed on the door. The junior attendant wipes her hands on her skirt, glancing anxiously at Simone. A voice comes over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as we arrive at the gate." Passengers exchange glances, tension thick in the air. A man in row 8 squeezes his wife's hand. The journalist in row 12 checks her phone, ready to record what happens next. The main attendant avoids Simone's gaze, fussing with the overhead compartments. A child asks, "Mom, what's happening?" The mother shakes her head, whispering, "Just wait." The captain steps into the aisle, his expression unreadable. He nods at Simone, then at the crew. The plane comes to a stop, engines winding down. The doors remain closed, the moment stretching. Simone sits tall, her face calm, waiting. The junior attendant lingers nearby, offering a small, reassuring smile. The main attendant's hands tremble as she adjusts her scarf. Outside, footsteps, Echo on the jet bridge. The supervisor's voice is heard, firm but polite. "We'll be boarding shortly." The main attendant swallows hard, her confidence slipping. A passenger mutters, "This is it." The journalist lifts her phone, ready to capture the scene. Simone's heart pounds, but her expression is steady. The doors finally open. Light spills into the cabin. The supervisor steps in, scanning the faces, eyes settling on Simone. The air is heavy with expectation. The cabin holds its breath, waiting for the truth to be named. Simone rises, ready for whatever comes next. The doors open and the supervisor steps inside, his gaze sweeping the cabin. The captain stands by, arms crossed, watching the crew with a measured look. Simone rises, her movements calm and assured. The main attendant stiffens, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. Passengers lean into the aisle, curiosity and tension mixing in the air. The supervisor approaches Simone, voice low but clear. "Dr. Carter, may I speak with you?" Simone nods, her posture unwavering. The main attendant's face pales as the supervisor turns to her next. "Would you step forward as well?" he asks. The attendant hesitates, glancing at the junior attendant, who avoids her eyes and busies herself with trash collection. The supervisor's tone leaves no room for argument. A man in business class whispers, "It's about time." The woman with the purse sits forward, watching closely. The junior attendant stands near the galley, her jaw set, ready to see what unfolds. The supervisor addresses the cabin. "Thank you for your patience. We're conducting a review of today's service." His words ripple through the passengers, some nodding, others murmuring quietly. The main attendant steps forward, her confidence wavering. Simone stands beside her, head high. The captain offers Simone a respectful nod, then looks away, letting the supervisor take control. The supervisor's questions are direct, his manner professional. The main attendant's answers falter, her voice losing its edge. Simone responds with clarity, her words measured. Passengers watch, the atmosphere charged. The junior attendant glances at Simone, offering a brief supportive smile. The captain signals the crew to remain in place. As the exchange ends, the supervisor thanks Simone and addresses the crew. "We'll continue this discussion outside." The main attendant follows, shoulders slumped. Simone remains, dignity intact. The doors are open, and accountability has stepped in. The supervisor stands at the front, clipboard in hand, eyes scanning the cabin. Simone reaches into her bag and produces her identification, holding it out with steady hands. The supervisor takes it, his brow lifting as he reads the embossed title, Executive Director. He glances at Simone, realization dawning. Passengers lean forward, whispers spreading. The main attendant's breath catches, her posture faltering for the first time. The junior attendant standing near the galley peers over, curiosity and relief mingling in her expression. The supervisor clears his throat. "Thank you, Dr. Carter." His tone shifts, respect replacing routine authority. He holds up the ID, for the captain to see. The captain nods, eyes widening in recognition. The main attendant's face drains of color. She stares at the ID, then at Simone, mouth opening but no words coming. A woman in row 5 murmurs, "She's the boss?" Her companion nods, awe in his eyes. Simone's voice is calm. "I wanted to see how your team treats every passenger." She glances at the main attendant, her gaze unwavering. The attendant looks away, fingers twisting the edge of her sleeve. The supervisor addresses the crew, voice firm. "This is Dr. Carter, our new executive director. I expect everyone to treat her and every passenger with respect." The junior attendant straightens, her relief visible. A man in business class whispers, "Unbelievable." The woman with the purse lets out a quiet breath, her tension easing. The main attendant stands frozen, her authority slipping away. The supervisor hands the ID back to Simone, his respect clear. Simone accepts it, nodding once. The truth is, outpower has shifted. The passengers watch, some with satisfaction, others in disbelief. The cabin is changed, the old order broken. Simone's presence now commands the room. Simone stands tall, her voice steady as she addresses the cabin. "You assumed I didn't belong here," she says, her gaze fixed on the main attendant. "But I do. In fact, I lead this company now." The words ripple through the rows, drawing startled glances and hushed murmurs. The main attendant's hands tremble, her eyes wide. She tries to speak, but only manages, I didn't know." Her voice trails off, brittle and uncertain. The junior attendant shifts her weight, relief and vindication flickering in her eyes. A passenger in business class leans forward. "She's the one in charge," he whispers to his seatmate. The woman with the purse nods, her expression softening. Simone's gaze never wavers. "That's the problem," she replies quietly. "You didn't care to know." Her words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. The supervisor stands beside Simone, his posture respectful. Dr. Carter's leadership is exactly what this company needs. His voice is clear, leaving no doubt about the new order. The main attendant lowers her head, her confidence unraveling. The junior attendant offers Simone a small, grateful smile. The captain watches, his respect unmistakable. Passengers exchange looks, some nodding, others simply absorbing the moment. The atmosphere has shifted. The old hierarchy is gone. Simone's presence fills the space, her authority unquestioned. She doesn't need to raise her voice. The truth is enough. The main attendant stands silent, her role reversed. She is no longer the gatekeeper. The lesson is clear, and everyone feels it. Simone glances around the cabin, her calm unbroken. "Every passenger deserves respect," she says, her tone final. "The moment marks a turning point. The power dynamic has changed, and the entire cabin knows it." The main attendant stands motionless, her shoulders hunched as the truth settles in. She glances at Simone, then quickly looks away, her face flushed. The badge pinned to her uniform feels heavier now, no longer a symbol of control, but a mark of her actions. She fidgets with her sleeve, searching for words that won't come. Passengers watch, some with narrowed eyes, others with quiet pity. The junior attendant lingers near the galley, her expression conflicted. She takes a hesitant step toward the main attendant, then stops, unsure if comfort or distance is right. A man in row 6 clears his throat, the sound loud in the stillness. The main attendant's hands tremble as she straightens a stack of napkins on the service cart, desperate for something to do. Her confidence has drained away, replaced by an awkward uncertainty. The supervisor stands nearby, arms folded, gaze steady. "We all answer for our choices," he says, voice low but firm. The main attendant nods, unable to meet his eyes. Simone remains calm, her presence a quiet force. She watches as the attendant's composure unravels, not with anger but with the weight of accountability. The junior attendant finally offers a gentle, "Are you all right?" The main attendant shakes her head, lips pressed tight. A woman in row 5 whispers to her partner, "She looks lost." He nods, sympathy in his eyes. The main attendant steps back, blending into the background. Her authority is gone, replaced by a sense of invisibility she's never known. She lingers at the edge of the aisle, uncertain where to go or what to do. Simone's dignity remains, filling the space where the attendant's power once stood. The cabin feels different now, the balance forever changed. The supervisor's hands twitch as he adjusts his tie, sweat beading at his hairline. He glances from Simone to the main attendant, then to the passengers searching for reassurance that never comes. His voice cracks as he tries to regain control. We take these matters seriously," he stammers, eyes darting. A passenger, in business class, folds his arms, gaze unyielding. The junior attendant stands nearby, her lips pressed together, watching the supervisor with a mix of hope and doubt. The main attendant shifts her weight, shrinking further from the center of attention. The supervisor clears his throat, forcing a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "Our company values respect and fairness," he says, but the words sound hollow. Simone's expression remains calm, but her eyes are sharp, unwavering. A woman near the front shakes her head, whispering, "He's only sorry now." Her companion nods, disappointment etched in his face. The supervisor's composure slips further as he realizes the gravity of the moment. He fumbles with a stack of forms, dropping one to the floor. The junior attendant stoops to pick it up, handing it back with a steady hand. Simone speaks, her voice quiet but firm. "Change starts with accountability." The supervisor nods quickly, unable to meet her gaze. The captain stands behind him, silent but stern, his presence a reminder that leadership is more than words. Passengers watch, some recording on their phones, others simply bearing witness. The supervisor's authority has faded, replaced by a visible anxiety. He glances at the main attendant, but she looks away, lost in her own regret. The cabin is silent, the cost of complacency laid bare. The supervisor stands exposed, his role forever altered by the truth. Phones rise throughout the cabin, screens glowing as passengers record every detail. A teenager in row 9 whispers, "This is going everywhere." His mother nods, her eyes never leaving Simone. The hum of quiet conversation is broken by the occasional click of a camera or the soft tap of a message being sent. A man in business class holds his phone steady, capturing Simone's calm and the supervisor's unease. The junior attendant glances at the screens, her relief barely hidden. The main attendant stands frozen, her face turned away from the lenses. A woman across the aisle wipes a tear, whispering to her seatmate, "It's about time someone stood up." The seatmate nods, pressing record. Simone remains poised, her presence commanding attention without a single raised voice. The supervisor shifts, clearly aware that every move is being documented. He forces a thin smile, but it quickly fades under the weight of so many eyes. The captain stands at the front, arms crossed, watching the scene unfold. The junior attendant steps forward, offering Simone a cup of water. "Thank you," Simone says quietly, her words carrying in the charged atmosphere. A passenger at the back leans into the aisle, phone raised, determined not to miss a moment. The story is no longer confined to the cabin. It's spreading beyond these walls. The main attendant's shoulders sag as she realizes there's no hiding from what's been revealed. The junior attendant stands a little taller, hope flickering in her eyes. Simone glances around, meeting the gaze of a few passengers. The truth is out, and everyone knows it. The cabin is transformed, justice unfolding in real time, and every witness plays a part. Simone turns to the supervisor, her voice steady. "It's time to address this. The crew needs to be replaced and retrained." The words are simple, but they land with finality. The supervisor nods, swallowing hard. He signals to security at the door, who step forward without hesitation. The main attendant's face drains of color. She looks around, searching for support, but finds none. The junior attendant stands quietly, her relief visible as she realizes she's not included in the removal. Passengers watch, some with satisfaction, others with quiet disbelief. Security approaches the main attendant. "Please come with us," one says, voice calm but firm. The attendant hesitates, then gathers her things, hands shaking. She glances at Simone, but Simone's expression doesn't change. The supervisor addresses the cabin. "Thank you for your patience. Service will resume shortly with a new crew." His words are met with a few nods and murmurs of approval. But he, junior attendant, lingers, glancing at Simone. "Thank you," she whispers, her gratitude genuine. Simone nods, acknowledging the small act of courage. A man in business class leans over to his neighbor. "She actually did it," he says, awe in his voice. The neighbor nods, eyes wide. The main attendant walks down the aisle, her steps heavy. Security follows, their presence unmistakable. The junior attendant returns to her duties, her posture more confident. Simone sits quietly, her authority undisputed. The supervisor wipes his brow, relief and anxiety mingling on his face. Passengers settle back, the tension easing. The atmosphere is different now, the old order gone. Simone's directive has changed everything. The cabin is no longer a place of quiet injustice, but one where accountability has finally arrived. The main attendant steps into the aisle, her shoes clicking softly on the floor. Security walks a step behind, their presence unmistakable. Passengers watch as she gathers her bag, shoulders hunched, eyes fixed on the carpet. Each step toward the exit feels heavier than the last. A woman in row 6 whispers, "She never thought it would end like this." Her companion nods, silent. The junior attendant stands at the galley, hands clasped, watching the procession with mixed relief and regret. The main attendant glances back once, searching for a friendly face, but finds only averted eyes. The supervisor stands by the door, arms folded, gaze unreadable. Simone remains seated, her expression calm, watching the moment unfold without gloating. The attendant steps onto the jet bridge, the sound of her heels echoing in the empty corridor. The airport outside is bright, but she feels exposed, stripped of the authority she once carried. Ground crew look away as she passes, pretending to check their phones or clipboards. A passenger near the front leans into the aisle, phone in hand, recording the final walk. The attendant's face flushes as she realizes her exit is being documented. She straightens her back, trying to salvage dignity, but her hands tremble. Security opens the door at the end of the jet bridge. The attendant hesitates, then steps through, the door closing behind her with a quiet finality. The junior attendant exhales, tension leaving her shoulders. Inside the cabin, the mood shifts. Passengers begin to talk, some relieved, others thoughtful. Simone sits quietly, her presence still commanding respect. The sound of heels fades, leaving only the hum of the plane, and the sense that something important has changed. Simone remains seated as the last echoes of footsteps fade. The cabin feels lighter, the tension replaced by a quiet sense of relief. A passenger in the next row leans over, offering a gentle, "Thank you." Simone nods, her gratitude silent but sincere. The junior attendant approaches, her voice low. "You didn't have to say much. Everyone saw." Simone gives her a small, reassuring smile. The attendant stands taller, pride flickering in her eyes. A businessman nearby closes his laptop, meeting Simone's gaze. "You handled it with real grace," he says. Simone replies, "Sometimes that's all you have." He nods, understanding. Passengers begin to gather their belongings, the mood in the cabin transformed. Conversations are softer, glances warmer. The woman who clutched her purse earlier now offers Simone a respectful nod before exiting. The supervisor stands at the front watching. Simone with a new respect, he clears his throat. "If you need anything before you leave, Dr. Carter, let us know." Simone thanks him, her tone even. The junior attendant lingers by the galley, hesitant. "It mattered," she says quietly. Simone meets her eyes. "It always does." A mother with a child pauses at Simone's seat. "You made it better for her?" she says, nodding to her daughter. Simone smiles, the moment settling between them. As the last passengers file out, Simone stands, gathering her bag. She moves with the same calm she boarded with, but now the air around her is different, charged with respect, not suspicion. She takes a final look at the cabin, then steps into the aisle. The journey is over, but the impact lingers. Dignity was her only weapon, and it was enough. As passengers exit, a soft murmur ripples through the aisle. A woman in row 7 whispers to her partner, "She did it without raising her voice." The words pass from seat to seat, picking up weight with each retelling. The journalist in row 12 types her final post, fingers flying. Change, quiet but unstoppable. A man pauses by Simone, his voice low. You showed us what's possible. She nods, her reply simple. Sometimes you just have to stand firm. The junior attendant lingers at the door, offering a grateful smile. Thank you for not letting it slide, she says, voice trembling just a little. Outside the cabin, passengers gather in small groups, sharing what they witnessed. She never lost her composure, someone says. She made them listen. The story spreads, each person adding their own perspective, the details growing sharper and more meaningful. The supervisor stands near the jet bridge, watching the crowd. He hears the whispers, the praise, the relief. For a moment, he closes, his eyes absorbing the lesson. The woman with the purse finds Simone in the terminal. You changed something in there, she says softly. Simone smiles, the exhaustion showing now that the ordeal is over. We all did, she replies. The journalist's article is already trending, the headline clear. Dignity wins at 30,000 feet. Comments pour in, strangers across the world moved by what happened in the sky. Simone walks toward the exit, the words following her like a gentle current. She did it without shouting, without spectacle. The change is real, and everyone who saw it knows it. The final passengers leave, the cabin empty, but for the echo of quiet courage. The former attendant sits alone at a corner table in the airport. Café, uniform jacket folded beside her. Her coffee cools untouched. She scrolls through news stories on her phone, her name appearing in headlines and comment threads. Each notification stings, a reminder of choices made, and the moment everything changed. Colleagues pass by, some pausing when they see her, then quickly looking away. The laughter and chatter of the cafe feel distant, muffled by her isolation. She glances up, searching for a familiar face, but finds only strangers or averted eyes. A former coworker enters, spots her, and hesitates before joining another table. The attendant's shoulders sag. She replays the day's events, the confrontation, the supervisor's questions, Simone's unwavering calm. Regret creeps in, sharper than any reprimand. She checks her messages. One from a friend. Are you okay? She types a reply, deletes it, and sets the phone aside. A server approaches, offering to warm her coffee. She shakes her head, voice barely audible. No, thank you. The cafe's TV plays a news segment about the flight. Passengers' voices describe what happened. The attendant listens, her hands clenched in her lap, unable to look away. Her reflection in the window is tired, older than she remembers. A group of flight crew at a nearby table glance her way, their conversation dropping to a whisper. She feels the distance, the loss of camaraderie. The badge she once wore with pride now sits heavy in her bag. She sits in the cafe's quiet corner, the world moving on around her. The consequences of her actions are clear, her authority gone. She is left with her thoughts, her coffee growing colder, and the knowledge that everything has changed. She leaves the cafe, jacket draped over her arm, moving through the terminal with slow steps. Familiar faces approach crew members she once laughed with, sharing stories with on long layovers. Now, their eyes slide away, conversations pause as she passes. The warmth that once greeted her is gone. A group of attendants stands near a gate, chatting softly. One glances up, recognition flickering, but quickly turns back to the group, voice dropping to a whisper. She catches fragments. Her name, the word incident, but no one meets her gaze. She hugs her jacket closer, the fabric a poor shield, against the chill of being set apart. A pilot she once called a friend spots her by the escalator. He hesitates, then offers a stiff nod before disappearing into the crowd. The sting of rejection is sharp, more painful than any official reprimand. She tries to smile at a former colleague, but the gesture is returned with a polite, distant nod. The distance grows with every step, every averted glance. She feels exposed, each moment in the terminal a reminder of what's been lost. A cleaning staff member, usually friendly, keeps her head down, pushing her cart past without a word. The attendant's hands tighten around her bag, knuckles pale. She finds a quiet corner, sinking into a seat. The terminal, once familiar and full of belonging, now feels vast and empty. She watches travelers hurry by, none stopping, none offering comfort. Her phone vibrates with another headline, another message she can't bring herself to read. The world she knew has shifted, and she is left on the outside, surrounded by faces that now feel like strangers. Simone walks through the terminal, her steps steady, suitcase rolling behind her. Staff at the information desk notice her, one offering a respectful nod. A security officer recognizes her from the flight, pausing to say, "Thank you for what you did." Simone smiles, her gratitude quiet but genuine. A young black employee approaches, eyes bright. "You made a difference today," she says softly. Simone's expression softens. "We all deserve respect," she replies. The employee nods, pride flickering in her posture before she returns to her duties. As Simone moves through the crowd, passengers from the flight catch her eye. A mother with her daughter offers a wave, mouthing, "Thank you." Simone waves back. The moment lingering between them, the businessman from earlier tips his head in acknowledgement, his respect clear. Airport staff who once might have overlooked her now greet her with warmth. A janitor, passing with his cart, gives her a thumbs up. Simone returns the gesture, feeling the shift in the air around her. The terminal, once just a place to pass through, now feels different. Each smile, each nod, is a quiet affirmation. The weight of the flight's ordeal is still there, but it's balanced by the recognition in every face she passes. The junior attendant from the plane catches up to Simone near the exit. "You changed things for all of us," she says, voice trembling with emotion. Simone places a hand on her shoulder. "Change is all of us together," she answers. Simone continues on, her dignity unshaken, her presence now met with welcome. Instead of suspicion, the journey through the terminal becomes a walk of contrasts. Where exclusion once lingered, respect now travels with her. Screens throughout the terminal flicker to life, the airline's logo bright against a blue backdrop. A spokesperson appears, voice clear. "We are committed to change and accountability. Today's events have shown us where we must do better." Passengers pause, some gathering in small groups to watch, others snapping photos of the announcement. Simone stops, listening as the statement continues. "We will review our training, update our policies, and ensure every traveler is treated with dignity and fairness." The words carry through the terminal, echoing off polished floors and glass walls. A woman nearby murmurs, "It's about time." Her friend nods, relief and hope mingling in her eyes. The young black employee who spoke with Simone earlier stands, straighter, pride visible in her stance. The junior attendant from the flight watches the screen, her face a mix of relief and determination. She glances at Simone, who gives her a reassuring nod. The two share a moment of understanding, knowing the work ahead is just beginning. A group of children point at the screen, asking their father what it means. He kneels beside them, explaining, "It means things will be better for everyone." Simone overhears, her heart lifting at the words. The spokesperson's message ends with a promise. Every voice matters. Every journey counts. The crowd disperses, conversations buzzing with new energy. Simone stands for a moment longer, absorbing the weight of the announcement. The journey was hard, but the impact is real. The airline's promise is public now, and change feels possible. As she moves toward the exit, Simone glances back at the screens, a sense of closure and new beginnings settling over her. The terminal is alive with hope, the future rewritten. In bold, public words, a group of new hires gathers in a bright training room, voices low, anticipation in the air. The instructor, a woman with kind eyes, greets each person by name. "We're here to build something better," she begins, her tone sincere. Around the table, faces of every background listen, some nervous, others hopeful. A young man raises his hand. Will things really change? The instructor nods. Change starts with us, with every choice we make. She hands out a booklet titled, Respect in Every Interaction. The room grows quiet as each trainee flips through the pages. The junior attendant from Simone's flight sits near the front, taking careful notes. She glances at the door, remembering the day's events, then focuses on the lesson. Empathy isn't just a word, the instructor says. It's practice. It's how we make every traveler feel seen. A woman in the back clears her throat. What if someone slips back into old habits? The instructor smiles gently. Then we hold each other accountable. We speak up, we support one another, even when it's hard. Role-play exercises begin. Trainees take turns practicing difficult conversations, learning to listen before responding, to notice when someone is left out. Laughter breaks the tension, but every lesson lands. The junior attendant volunteers for a scenario, her voice stronger than before. Everyone deserves respect, no matter what. The instructor nods, pride in her eyes. As the session ends, the group gathers for a photo, arms around each other. The instructor's final words linger. This is just the beginning. Let's make it count. The trainees leave the room, ready to step into their roles. The old ways are behind them. The promise of a better future is written in every handshake and every lesson learned. Social media lights up as passengers from the flight share their stories. A mother posts a photo of her daughter smiling in the terminal, captioned, "She felt safe today." Comments pour in, strangers offering support, others sharing their own experiences. The journalist's article trends, headline bold, "Dignity at 30,000 feet." A college student tweets, "I watched justice happen in real time." Her thread is retweeted thousands of times, sparking conversations about fairness and change. Videos from the cabin circulate, showing Simone's calm, the attendant's discomfort, the moment the supervisor stepped in. Each clip adds another layer to the story. A man who witnessed the confrontation writes, "I'll never forget how she stood her ground." His post is met with gratitude and stories from fellow travelers who've faced similar moments. The narrative shifts from outrage to hope, voices rising in a chorus for better treatment everywhere. The junior attendant shares a message of her own. "We're learning, we're growing. Thank you for holding us accountable." Her words are met with encouragement, her courage recognized. News outlets pick up the story, interviews requested, hashtags trending. "This is what change looks like," someone writes, the phrase echoing across platforms. Simone reads the posts quietly, her heart full. She responds to a few messages, offering thanks and encouragement. The support is overwhelming, but it's the stories of hope that mean the most. The terminal buzzes with new energy. Travelers glance at their phones, some wiping away tears, others smiling at the sense of community. The story has become bigger than one flight. It's a call for healing and a reminder that every voice matters. Hope travels farther than any plane. Simone stands by a wide airport window, sunlight glinting off, distant planes. She watches families reunite, travelers hurry past, the world moving forward. Her reflection in the glass is steady, eyes thoughtful. She thinks of the flight, the faces, the moments when dignity was tested and reclaimed. Her phone buzzes with another message of thanks. She reads it, a quiet smile spreading across her face. Change doesn't roar. It whispers, then echoes, she murmurs, the words grounding her. She remembers the fear in the attendant's eyes, the hope in the junior crew's voice, the gratitude from passengers who finally felt seen. A young woman approaches, suitcase rolling behind her. "Are you Dr. Carter?" Simone nods. "Thank you for what you did," the woman says, voice trembling with sincerity. Simone offers a gentle, "We all deserve respect." The woman nods, walking away a little taller. Simone looks back at the window, watching a plane lift into the sky. She breathes deeply, feeling the weight of the day lift, replaced by a sense of purpose. The terminal feels different now, filled with possibility. She gathers her things, walking toward the exit. Each step feels lighter, the echo of quiet courage following her. The journey isn't over, but the path ahead is clearer. As she passes, under a new banner, "Every traveler belongs," she touches it lightly, a promise to herself and everyone who comes after. The world is changing, one whisper at a time, and Simone knows she helped start the echo. A new banner stretches above the terminal entrance, bold letters reading, "Every traveler belongs." Sunlight catches the fabric, casting the words across the floor. Simone pauses beneath it, suitcase in hand. Travelers stop to read, some snapping photos, others simply smiling as they pass under the promise. Airport staff gather nearby, exchanging nods and quiet congratulations. The junior attendant from the flight stands to the side, watching Simone with admiration. A father lifts his daughter so she can touch the edge of the banner, whispering, "This is for you too." Simone looks up, her eyes shining. She sees the faces around her, diverse, hopeful, changed. A woman approaches, pressing a hand to her heart. "Thank you," she says softly. Simone returns the gesture, the moment settling between them. The journalist, from row 12, photographs the scene, capturing the sense of arrival, of something new taking root. Her article headline flashes on a nearby screen, a banner for belonging. A group of new hires, fresh from training, walk through the entrance together. They pause, reading the words, then continue on, shoulders squared with purpose. The promise of the banner is more than decoration. It's a commitment, visible and real. Simone lingers for a moment, letting the weight of the journey wash over her. She breathes in, standing a little taller. The terminal is filled with possibility, the old barriers replaced by welcome. As she moves forward, the light from the banner follows her, casting a long shadow that stretches ahead. The story ends not with a roar, but with the quiet certainty that change has arrived and that everyone at last belongs.